Welcome and well met. This is the Mythalia Wyrldica, a place for stories from world. Adventures in the 7 cities. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For more Mythalia, today we will tell the story of once upon a time, the king of Durango, old Gerhard the Last, received a prophecy that he would be slain by his own grandchild. As can be expected, he didn't take this very well, and he had his only child, a daughter, locked away in a tower upon an island just offshore. Yes, the very Princess Tower that still stands today. It was once built as a lighthouse to guide ships into the great port. Living in the tower, the princess was kept away from the eyes of all men, and any knowledge of them by a dozen handmaidens. Meanwhile, King Gerhard heard of a strange device that could protect the wearer from all harm. It was in the hands of the syndic Kapon, who was powerful and wealthy, and refused to part with his prized possession. The king used a spell to transform himself and seduce the syndic, stealing it in the night and escaping out a balcony window. The syndic was furious and soon learned the truth, though who would believe him? He made a deal with a fae, and she spirited him away to the princess's tower. Syndic Kapon and the princess met in the tower in secret, aided by the fae named Diasara. Their tryst undiscovered, Diasara promised to watch over the princess and then spun the syndic away back into the city in time. The princess bore triplets, 2 sons and a daughter. King Gerhard ordered a trusted manservant to place the infants into a sack and hurl it from the highest parapet into the sea below. The manservant placed the babes as he was told, but Diasara switched the daughter with a changeling and swirled her away to her father, the syndic. The syndic feared he would be suspected, so he sent the girl to his cousin and asked him to raise her as his own and keep her a secret. Donegal did as asked and named her Hala. She grew into a strong and adventurous lass with a pleasant youth. Before leaving home, she apprenticed as an adventurer and had many great and wild adventures with a team, and eventually made a name for herself before returning home to her father, who tells her the truth of her birth. They argue, and she leaves, leaving Donegal bereft and heartbroken. She heads to the shore and looks out to see the tower, where her mother is still living unwillingly, and then goes to confront her true father. She arrives at a grave, for in the years she was adventuring, King Gerhard learned the truth and killed Syndic Kapon. Hala crossed to the tower on a boat, alone. She was determined to free her mother, whom she had never met. As she approached the tiny dock, the king's soldiers tried to warn her away, but she rowed on, not fearing any fight they might have. Undaunted, she faced the soldiers guarding her mother. The princess, hearing the commotion, stepped out and saw the handiwork of her daughter, aghast. Hala declares herself, and the princess, overjoyed, recognizes her child. Mother and daughter are reunited at last. Hala's mother tells her she is trapped in the tower until the death of the king. Hala finds this intolerable and vows to free her mother even if it kills the king. They talk and plan over tea. A handmaiden reports the visitor to the king, who is enraged by the news. Can you imagine that conversation? King Gerhard, who was not very loved by his people, demanded to know who this false child was, and he gathered his personal guard and stormed to the tower. He brought with him the relic he had stolen, of course. On arriving, he was blocked by the handmaidens, who had learned of the children. Among the handmaidens was Diasara, who grinned with glee and foresight. She whirled the guards away and left only the king, then vanished herself. The princess and Hala came to the courtyard to find the king there, angry and disbelieving. Hala confronted the king with the truth. Using a spell, the king transformed himself into a monster and attacked Hala, believing his relic would protect him from harm. But he had stolen the relic, and it needed to be given, or its magic was reversed. Hala bravely faced the king alone and slew him in his monstrous form. With the king dead, the once princess was now the Queen of Durango. The queen immediately declared Hala a hero and welcomed her as a daughter and now a princess in her own right. Queen Fiantha was a much beloved queen, and Princess Hala quickly subdued the syndics. In time, the queen passed, and Queen Hala ruled the realm with a steady and firm hand, much as she had done as an adventurer. The end. We hope you enjoyed this tale from the 7 cities, and that you'll come back for more. See you next time in the Mythalia Wyrldica. Like and subscribe for more Mythalia.